All right, it's coming, but some familiar faces in studios will not be part of Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, so joining us around the table is Union-Tribune reporter Philip Molinar. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so Comic-Con, hard to believe, first of all, that it's like 3 weeks away here. Mid-July it starts. This is the time where so many people, even if you're not really like a comic geek, I guess, in like the best terms, want to go to this. So what's the new information this year, the people who are not going to show up?
Well, kind of a shock to a lot of people probably expecting to come is Marvel Studios is not going. They're a huge part of Hall H, the major hall where all the big, stuff gets debuted. And so they've got, it's a major franchise, 19 films going. So them being gone was sort of a shock. And then, but it was like, okay, they've skipped before actually, but now HBO is not coming with Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones has been there every year since it started. So it's pretty big.
Okay, so is this, you mentioned Marvel's done this before. This is the first time HBO, everyone's going to go, okay, like, why would you not want to come? Any idea in your reporting why they're not coming?
Yeah, one of the first things I looked at with my fellow reporter, Lori Weisberg, is, Disney has its own version of Comic-Con called D23 up in Anaheim. Star Wars has its own Star Wars celebration. So we're thinking maybe people are pull away from Comic-Con a little bit. But in our reporting, we checked with industry analysts, we talked to other reporters that cover the entertainment industry, everyone we could talk to, and it was like, no, this is just legitimately for these studios, that they're just not ready or don't have a big enough announcement to show up in Hall H and make a big deal out of it. So.
But you look at this as, the question is Comic-Con in danger because of this, but attendance really hasn't slipped at all over the years.
No, attendance is like maxed out. So many people want to go. It's sold out every year. I can't imagine any reason, even with just those two being there, why people would not still want to fight for those tickets.
So when I read your article, I thought one thing was interesting was that Game of Thrones last season is not actually coming out till 2019. So maybe, do you think that could be one of the reasons why they didn't want to go this year, but they maybe would show up again next year? Yeah,
that's kind of weird. This is something that got us going on the article because I've been at a lot of comic conventions over the years, and it's like when there's Game of Thrones said they were filming during this time, which is why they couldn't go. But a lot of times when that might be going on, they might still fly out one or two cast members. So maybe that's what we were wondering. But there's in the works or some talks in industry magazines of making a Game of Thrones prequel. So they could be back bigger and better next year.
Huh.
So
of course, those not here this year, doesn't that just kind of build anticipation in the coming year?
I think it will too, because there is, if you're out of the convention hall, there's so much Game of Thrones merchandise, clothes, like really funny stuff, and I'm sure people will be dressed up and just as excited anyways. So.
And before we let you go, does this opportunity then open for maybe some smaller, but just like open some space for other people if they wanted to get in?
Yeah, definitely. So DC Entertainment, which is always number 2 to Marvel, their connected universe has about 5 films: Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. So they're already, we know that they're going to be there this year. I assume it's going to be in Hall H, not totally confirmed.
Okay.
But they're going to be premiering an Aquaman trailer. Gal Gadot is rumored to maybe show up, don't have confirmation, for Wonder Woman. And then also there's another movie called Shazam to really steal the stage away from Marvel, and as far as it seems right now, like really make Comic-Con all about them.
Right.
Bottom line, there's going to be plenty of stuff out there.
Right. We can't say winter is coming because it's not coming to San Diego.
True.
Philip, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
By the way, you could all about today's top stories, including his article, which is really interesting, on SanDiegoUnionTribune.com.